Major League Baseball Productions presents
Philadelphia Inquirer, Thursday, October 30th, 2008.
28 years later, Phillies again are baseball's best.
After 25 years of drought and 2 days of too much rain, Philadelphia has its championship.
It felt like a dream, but it wasn't.
You're wide awake, and the Phillies really are World Series champions. They beat the Weather and the Tampa Bay Rays 4-3 to earn just the second title in franchise history.
Philadelphia's quarter century without a major sports championship is over. Out of here! Thanks to a gritty, talented team that won 2 games in 1 day and 1 game that took 3 nights.
For the second time in their 126-year history, the Phillies have won the World Series.
So remember Brad Lidge completing his personal perfect season by striking out pinch hitter Eric Hinsky for the final out.
Struck him out!
Remember Cole Hamels, 7 months younger than our title drought, delivering 5 stellar postseason starts.
And Cole Hamels is doing it again.
To earn the World Series MVP award.
Remember Charlie Manuel watching chants of his name, standing on the makeshift stage behind second base. This is for Philadelphia!
And holding up his index finger. Number 1.
Remember Burrow delivering a 400-foot double in what might be his last at-bat as a Philly.
Burrow will dig into second with a leadoff double.
Remember Pedro Feliz driving in the biggest run of the Phillies season?
Swung on line, back in the middle, a base hit!
That one gave them a 4-3 lead in the 7th inning last night.
Feliz delivers.
Remember every last thing Shane Victorino did. The grand slams.
Defense.
Great play by Victorino.
Beanball throwdown.
Over the head of Victorino. He said, you want to throw it? Me throw it my hip.
And of course, the 2-run single 48 hours before the end of Game 5.
Remember Ryan Howard's just-in-time power surge and the electrifying moments when his moonshots landed amid the bouncing fans and clutching hands.
It is out of here!
Remember Chase Utley's opening statement, a 2-run homer in the first World Series at bat.
It's a good start for the Phillies.
To signal these Phillies were different from the teams that had disappointed in every sport for the last 25 years.
Remember Jimmy Rollins for the leadoff home runs and for leading the way all along.
Remember Eric Bruntlett sliding safely home on the biggest little hit in Phillies history.
Game over, Phils win Game 3.
Remember Joe Blanton and his no-way home run in Game 4.
Joe Blanton, are you kidding me?
Remember the fans who turned the bank into the loudest, happiest, coolest place in sports for the past month.
Remember 1964 and Black Friday and Joe Carter, because they're all just a little further away and a little less menacing than they were a week ago.
Remember the other uncountable losses.
The loved ones buried in their red caps and Eagle sweatshirts.
The fathers and mothers.
Spouses and friends.
Who didn't make it to this day.
Even the diehards.
Die in time.
Remember the older loved ones you weren't sure would live to see it?
Make a call. Give out hugs.
Bask in this with the people who matter most.
Remember Tug and Whitey.
Remember Vuk
and the Pope.
Remember it all.
Savor every moment.
After all,
you waited forever
and a day.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball. One strike away. Fans on their feet. Rally towels are being waved.
For the city of Philadelphia, it was a moment 28 years in the making. For the 2008 Phillies, their adventure had reached the ultimate destination.
Being in the World Series, it's been a real long journey from the start of spring training.
Beautiful day here in Clearwater, Florida, trying to get better. So I'm gonna go get better.
When you walk into spring training, start of this year or even every year throughout your professional career, every spring training your goal is to hopefully win a World Series.
Coming into spring training, we had got a taste of the playoffs the year before. We were out in 3 games, so we went in with a mission of getting into the playoffs and going further.
A mission made possible thanks to back-to-back MVPs who knew how to keep the team loose.
I think we should give them a world premiere of taking me out to the ball game.
That's right, MVP style.
MVP style.
Check it out. Take me out to the ball game. Biggie ball game. Take me out to the ball game.
The remix.
That's it. That's all you need. We're not even going to finish that.
It's a wrap. It's over.
A wrap.
It's over.
Spring training was also over, but the Phillies' championship run had just begun.
It all starts here this afternoon.
Phillies opening day program. The 2008 season is here.
And with the way Chase Utley began the year, a third straight Phillies MVP seemed possible.
Every year you go through your hot streaks, and you obviously want to continue those hot streaks for as long as possible.
It's gone! Home run, Chase Utley.
His 6th in the last 5 games as he ties a Phillies record.
Early on, I was seeing the ball well. It was a good time of the year.
Utley hit 21 home runs by June 2nd, and with a torrid first month by Pat Burrell,
What a big blow for Burrell.
And the emerging Jason Worth.
A 3-homer game for Jason Worth.
The Phillies were an offensive machine. They even had 2 20-run games in less than a month.
The Phillies with the big bats out once again. Another 20-run outburst.
This team has a lot of different ways it can hurt you. It can hurt you with the bats, it can hurt you on the bases, and we have obviously an outstanding pitching staff.
Anchored by the 24-year-old southpaw Cole Hamels.
From Cole Hamels' debut in the major leagues, everybody knew there was something special about it.
This is ridiculous. It looks so easy for this kid.
Cole Hamels has a dominating changeup.
He strikes out in a good Cole Hamels changeup.
That's really allowed him to take this next step forward.
It helped Cole to have the ageless Jamie Moyer as his mentor, the author of a pretty fair changeup of his own.
Moyer fools him, changes up.
The Phillies would finish second in the National League in wins, thanks in great part to their bullpen, which featured setup men J.C. Romero and Ryan Madsen, and a brand new closer.
Brad Lidge on to try to finish it off.
If you talk about a big acquisition for the Phillies for the 2008 season, it had to be Brad Lidge.
I felt like this was going to be a good year, but I knew I needed to come out and prove it.
They used to call him Lights Out Lidge. He's had trouble living up to that nickname the last couple of years.
Much feared in Houston his first 2 years as a closer, Brad was living proof that dominance can be fleeting.
In the air, left field, and Pools has given St. Louis the lead.
Lidge would struggle the next 2 seasons, but the Phillies still believed in him.
He was a kind of a makeup guy that we knew could bounce back. We felt like this was the kind of guy that would be a quality guy to anchor the back end of our bullpen.
Every time he was called upon to do so, Lidge would save the game.
Struck to him out. Game over.
Brad was 30 for 30 by mid-August.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Somehow it just kind of snowballed. The confidence, the fans behind me, the energy. Every time I went out there, I felt better than I've ever felt in my career.
The Phillies appeared poised for another postseason run, and although their reigning MVP was not making any predictions, he was providing plenty of leadership.
Jimmy's a guy that all along has been known as our team leader.
That Ryan on a pick, he got 2.
And when he goes, we go.
Go, 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 go!
Stolen base for Jimmy Rollins.
Jimmy stole an incredible 47 out of 50 bases and played gold glove defense all season long.
What a sensational play by J-Roll.
But would all this be enough to win the NL East?
And the Mets lead it 7-0 in Philadelphia.
The Phils found themselves in still another division dogfight in late August. But once again, they never stopped fighting.
That one is gone! And maybe that will get it ignited. And all the Mets fans are feeling it right now.
The team battled all the way back, and the game went into extra innings.
He can't even watch anymore.
Smart move, for the Phillies sent a message to their #1 rival.
That's gonna win it for the Phils. What a comeback! Say hello to first place in the National League East.
We knew that if this turned out to be a successful season, if we win the division, that we'd look back on that game as one of the key games.
The 2 teams met again in early September at Shea, and this time, the Mets were baffled by a resurgent Brett Myers.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Number 10 on the night for Brett Myers, who has thrown 8 shutout innings.
Still, the Phils trailed the wild card leading Brewers by 4 games, until, that is, Milwaukee came to town.
And the Phils sweep the Brewers, winning all 4 games, and now are tied for the top spot in the wild card.
The Phillies' September surge toward the postseason was powered by their slugger, the unstoppable Ryan Howard.
He got in that stage where it did not matter what the pitcher threw him, as if that ball was anywhere near the plate, he was going to hammer it.
It is out of here, Ryan Howard.
You had to start talking about him being the MVP of the league just because of the way he absolutely put the Phillies on his shoulders and carried them for a month straight.
You get too close to Howard right now, you're going to get burned.
Ryan drove in 32 runs in September, the most ever for a Philly in that month, and helped the Phils once again overcome the Mets down the stretch.
Could there be a better scenario? Phil's trying to clinch National League East for the 2nd straight year, and the man who has been perfect is out there in the mound.
And to keep him that way, Brad's teammates had his back.
Zimmerman hit the ball hard up the middle. Jimmy made a great play to get to it.
J-Roll dives to Utley, one relay. The Phillies are the National League Eastern Division champions.
And we turned the double play. It was extremely exciting.
Unbelievable play to end the game and to clinch the division.
The season-ending double play by Jimmy Rollins, to me, goes down in Phillies history as one of the great moments.
We know that winning a division doesn't guarantee you anything. It just means you have a chance to go win a World Series.
And now that time had come, in a city starved for a championship.
Good afternoon and welcome to Game 1 of the National League Division Series.
The 2008 postseason offered the Phillies the chance to win it all, something the franchise had managed to do only once in the first 125 years of its history. But for these players, it was the more immediate past from which they took their cue.
The Philadelphia Phillies hoping to erase the memory of last year's 3-and-out against the Colorado Rockies.
We didn't know what to expect. 2007.
Frustration. There's words there for Dale Scott.
2008. We just went in there and just stayed relaxed and just played our game.
Cole Hamels set the tone in Game 1.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
About that start, Cole Hamels 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts.
You want him to keep his emotions under control, and he's been unbelievable. He's the number 1 guy, the guy you go to when you need that big win.
Number 9 for Hamels on the afternoon.
A much different division series for Hamels than what we saw last year.
Cole laid the groundwork for the Phils' first playoff win in 15 years, and Lidge provided the finishing touch.
Swing and a miss! He struck him out, and the ball game is over. The Phillies take Game 1 of the National League Division Series.
The Phillies ace did his job. Would Milwaukee's ace do his?
Brewers trying to even the series with their big horse, CC Sabathia.
Everybody had heard so much about CC Sabathia, how he was practically unbeatable.
Everybody's been talking so much about Sabathia, it's like a foregone conclusion that he's going to win.
So to counter CC's unhittable stuff, the Phillies turned to their pesky pitcher.
The pitcher, Brett Myers, coming to the plate.
CC has been so dominant over the second half when he got with the Brewers. I had no intentions of even trying to hit his stuff.
Swing and a miss, nothing at 2.
I was just up there swinging and luckily enough fouling the ball off.
Swing and a ball fouled away. The longer Brett makes this thing go, the better it is for the Phils.
Yeah. Fortunately enough for the team, I was able to work him through that at bat.
Ball 4, he walked him. How about that at bat from Myers?
I don't know if it frustrated him or not, but then Jimmy came up, he walked him on 4 pitches.
All 4 bases full for Victorino.
And Shane offered a glimpse of what Phillies fans could expect from the flying Hawaiian throughout the playoffs.
Swing and a drive. Ron going back. He looks up, and it is gone! Yes! Grand slam! Victorino! Phillies lead here in the second, 5-1.
CeCe had that kind of aura about him, and Shane just basically slayed him with one swing. That gave the team a lot of confidence and gave the city a lot of confidence.
Look at this crowd on their feet. The rally towns are going crazy.
When you beat a guy of CeCe Sabathia's stature, it just gives you that much more momentum.
Which the team rode to close out the series 2 games later.
The Philadelphia Phillies are heading to the National League Championship Series. A date with the Dodgers is next.
Having already dealt with one former American League superstar, the Phillies now prepared for another in their LCS date with the Dodgers.
How you feeling? Good. It's not what I want to hit. It's not what I want to hit.
Known him ever since he was 17 or 18 years old. Manny Ramirez is, if not the best right-hand hitter in baseball right now, he's definitely one of the two.
I don't know. You guys know how to pitch me, so I don't know. I hope that's true, Manny. I hope that's true, dog.
The truth is, no one could shut down Manny. Something Hamill soon found out in Game 1.
There's a shot into center field, off the top of the wall. It'll score Ethier. Ramirez on his way into second, and the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead.
I knew he was going to get hits, but at the same time, we were going to try to do things just to kind of slow him down or hold him as much as possible.
And silence Manny's supporting cast.
Swing and a miss, he struck him out.
He has become a proven ace and a big game performer for the Phillies.
Hamels allowed 2 runs through 6. But the Phillies' offense was struggling against Lowe.
Derek Lowe, he's a big sinker ball pitcher, keeps the ball down, makes you chase a lot of pitches, and he was having his way with us that night.
Until, that is, Shane reached base on an error, which brought Utley to the plate.
We had a guy in scoring position. I was trying to drive the ball, and he left one up a little bit.
High towering drive, deep right field. It is out of here.
And I was able to square it up and hit it out to tie the game.
Chase Utley, a 2-run home run, and this game is tied.
And then, 2 batters later, Pat comes up.
Line drive to left, it's got a chance, out of here. Pat Burrow with a line drive home run, and the Phillies have taken a 3-2 lead.
The Phillies won Game 1 and jumped out to an early lead in the second contest, thanks to another big game for Myers at the plate.
He gets a base hit into center field. Around third, Ruiz, he is going to score. Brett Myers has given the Phillies the lead.
Nobody saw Brett Myers doing the kind of damage he did at the plate. The impact that he had offensively was totally a shocker.
Brett, who had 1 RBI during the regular season, gets his first in the postseason.
And Shane kept it going.
Fastball line to left center, a base hit. 2 runs will score. Boy, oh boy, is that a huge hit right there for Victorino.
Shane was a big factor for us.
An unbelievable postseason of clutch hitting continues for Shane Victorino.
Shane was the knight in shining armor who has stepped up for us, not only with the bat, but with the glove as well.
And makes the catch. What a catch by Shane Victorino.
The inning is over. The lead is intact.
Shane is such a high-energy player. He absolutely was the star of the game, made a game-saving catch. He's in the middle of everything.
With the Phils up 2 games to none, the series moved to L.A., where Shane once again took center stage.
And there's one behind the back of Victorino, who didn't like it because it was up around his head.
Kuroda threw at his head there, cleared the benches a little bit.
Tensions are running high here in Game 3 tonight, to say the least.
He goes out to L.A., ends up being the guy they throw at. He wound up kind of being the villain out there.
But the tension was far from over, for the Dodgers won Game 3 and jumped out to a lead in Game 4.
Another hit for Ramirez.
Casey Blake has given the Dodgers the lead again.
But just when it looked like Los Angeles had all the momentum, they were stopped dead in their tracks.
Line drive caught.
He dives for the bag at second. Double play.
What a play by Chase Utley, who was right.
For unassisted double play. Gets the Phillies out of this inning.
Utley's gem kept the game close, and Shane once again seized the moment.
That's driven down into the right field corner. You're on the run. He turns, he looks, and it is gone. It clears into the Phillies bullpen. The game is tied on a 2-run home run by Shane Victorino.
Victorino has been in the middle of everything for the Phillies.
Shane was becoming a legend in Philly. Matt Stairs was about to become a folk hero.
You know, everyone knows I have one thing on my mind, and that is to try to hit a home run every time I step in that batter's box.
Stairs rips one into the night, way out of here. Phillies lead in the 8th on a pinch hit. Home run from Matt Stairs.
Running around the bases, I don't really remember too much. It happens so quick. You give Davey a high five at first base, then you think, okay, don't trip.
254 career home runs for Matt Stairs. That was the biggest.
You want that one special hit. There's no better feeling. You know, you come in that dugout and everyone's extremely happy, giving you a high five, pounding on your helmet. It's unbelievable.
Caught by Phillies at third, and the game is over. The Phillies with a come from behind win that leaves them one win away from the World Series. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a gorgeous night for baseball here in Southern California. Philadelphia trying to get a win here tonight and go back to the World Series for the first time since 1993.
And on this night in Hollywood, who better to bring it home than the man who bears the same name?
My first year in pro ball, I was fortunate enough to play with Ryan Howard. I just came from the beach. I had sandals, backwards hat, sunglasses.
I was from California, got the long flowing hair, got the looks.
Howard just started going, oh, there's a Hollywood look right there.
It's real easy to see why I call him Hollywood. He's big time, and I mean, with the way he performed in games for us, he's got that label of a big game pitcher.
There are young pitchers with enormous talent who want to pitch the clincher. Cole Hamels sure looks like he's developing into that kind of a guy for the Phillies.
They've got their best on the mound tonight in Cole Hamels.
Swing and a miss, got him on a changeup. First strikeout of the night for Hamels.
Swing and a miss, and strike 3 for Cole Hamels.
Swing and a miss, he struck him out.
Cole Hamels has retired 7 straight.
With an early lead in his pocket, Hamels cruised through 7 innings of one-run ball.
Call third strike, fastball at the knees, and Hamels rings up Kent for the final out here in the bottom of the 7th. Cole Hamels has been outstanding.
The starter, the stopper. 5 for 5 so far in playoff save opportunities.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 3 outs away from going to the World Series.
The Phillies are now 2 outs away.
The Phillies are an out away.
Swing and a pop-off. This game is going to be over. Carlos Ruiz squeezes it, and the Phillies are the National League champions.
Pennant winners for the 6th time in their history. All that remained was to match the exploits of the team 28 years prior and win it all. It was October, and change was in the air. The Phillies were in the World Series, awaiting their opponent. It would be the Tampa Bay Rays, the Cinderella story of the year. They stared down the defending champs to win their division and knocked them out of the playoffs in the LCS.
Price comes set. Now the 0-1 to Lowry on its way. Swinging a ground ball to second. This should do it. Hockey has it. Takes it to second himself. The Rays are going to the World Series. This improbable season has another chapter to it.
Not once in their first 10 years did the Tampa Bay Rays have a winning season. And now, in a stunning reversal of fortune, they were in the World Series.
It was important to us because for the past years, we kind of had a reputation of being, cellar dwellers and really not being able to get out of last place. So we just kind of felt like we needed a change. We needed to change up the uniforms, change up the name, and kind of start off fresh.
A fresh new look and a very different feel.
So we took Devil off the name. Things started getting better for us. So I guess you could say we was exercising the demons a little bit.
The baseball world took notice, some sooner than others.
They had the stigma of being a bad team, but I remember in spring training walking off the field against these guys and thinking to myself, these guys, they're a lot better.
The Rays made a statement almost from the start.
Swing and a drive. It is gone. Rays win. Rays win. Rays win.
Out of the month of April, we had some momentum going right there, beating the Red Sox.
James Shields with a complete game shutout helps send Boston out of here 0 for 3.
That was something we had never done before.
But while the Rays knew they were good, the skeptics kept dredging up their past After all, they had been the punching bag in the powerful AL East for 10 seasons.
First thing everyone wants to do when you're in the AL East is complain that you have to face the Red Sox and the Yankees 19 times each.
But when the Rays met those teams this year, something was different.
Definitely turning things around for us.
Rays win! Rays win!
We started to believe more and more we can do this.
You're running out of words to say what this team is doing.
They were the perfect mix of veterans and young talent.
Let's go to work. Come on. Evan hits it out. Rays win! The Rays keep the pedal down.
With lightning-quick speed, a deep young pitching staff, and a manager who tapped into their potential, the Rays defied expectations.
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons why you feel good about being a Ray right now.
Yeah. Once we got a hold of first place, nobody wanted to let it go.
Start the celebration. Pop the cork on the champagne.
The Rays are going to the playoffs.
It's unbelievable just to know where we're at. Last year, I expected this, but I don't know if I expected to go straight to the playoffs this year.
And Tampa Bay now officially is in the books as having made the playoff postseason.
In the division series, they eliminated the Chicago White Sox in 4 games.
In the postseason for the first time, the Tampa Bay Rays are headed to the American League Championship Series,
where they would have to get past the defending champion Red Sox once again. But the confidence they developed by beating them for the division title served the Rays well in this tense 7-game series.
We wanted to win every single series, every single game, and win every single pitch.
Flair for the dramatic this year for the Rays.
You know, we brought that into the playoffs, and here we are in the World Series.
The Tampa Bay Rays have won the American League pennant. They're going to the World Series.
The Rays have beaten the odds and will take on the Philadelphia Phillies in the 2008 Fall Classic.
No, the Phillies you can't be shocked by. You look at that lineup with Utley and Howard and Jimmy Rollins. You look at the good young pitchers they had. Lidge has been sensational. Not shocked. I can understand the shock over the Rays.
The Rays have won the American League pennant. They hold on to beat the Red Sox in Game 7.
I think it's been the perfect storm of events on a number of fronts. Having more talent than we've ever had, and with the different contributions we've gotten up and down our roster has made it that much more satisfying. It's a very special moment.
Tampa Bay Rays played so well all season, a team so many thought would fold.
There's a lot of I can't believe that we're doing this right now sort of feelings in there, especially from the guys that have been there a while.
To go from worst to first is definitely a big change in our lives, and you just want to try to, live in the moment.
Welcome to St. Petersburg, Tropicana Field, Game 1 of the 2008 World Series.
I don't even know what to do. It should be a great series. You got, I think, 2 equally talented ball clubs.
What's up, son? Congratulations, kiddo. Doing all right? Good. All right, buddy. Good, man. Good luck to you, too. Congratulations.
Hold up, dog. I'm a slap hitter now. You tell me. How do you feel?
It was extremely exciting.
Hey. What do you want to say to the camera?
To be part of a World Series is pretty special.
It was really no surprise to find Philadelphia in the Fall Classic, but Tampa Bay was another story altogether.
Can you believe it, Rays fans? The Rays are playing in the World Series.
Let's do it.
They were the worst team in the game last year. You can go back 10 years and say that. Just awful season after season, and yet here they are on the brink of winning a world championship.
I walked in the clubhouse today and thinking that everything's going to be different. It seems to be the same. I mean, we're relaxed. Everyone's smiling, having fun, and enjoying the moment.
Already did the scouting report.
Good luck. Thank you, Mike. Congratulations, brother.
Philadelphia Phillies. They had won world championship back in 1980. They're in the Fall Classic for the first time since 1993.
I'm looking forward to it. Matter of fact, I wanted to get going.
Yeah, just trying to keep it even keel, man.
feels kind of like I thought it would be here. And, like, hopefully we can finish it off.
Pitching matchup tonight, it'll be a couple of lefties. A pair of 24-year-olds. Scott Kazmir will go up against Cole Hamels.
Of course, the fact that the series was opening in Tampa Bay dated back to July in the Bronx.
The Rays have home field advantage based on the AL's win in the All-Star game. 15 innings at Yankee Stadium. Winning pitcher, Scott Kazmir. Losing pitcher, Brad Lidge.
It was pretty ironic. Me, Longoria, and Navarro, when we were there, we were talking to each other, and we were like, you know what, this really might mean something to us. It really did mean a lot, because we really played good at home.
The Rays were a major league best, 57-24 at the Trop this year.
Your team in 5.
I hope so.
The Phillies haven't played on artificial surface, let alone inside a dome, in a long, long time.
We haven't played on the turf for like 2 years. Yeah.
I believe it's going to be tough for the Phillies to dust it all off and get ready here after a 6-day layoff.
If you find a way to win, that's all you got to do.
We are finally getting ready for baseball here at Tropicana Field.
Despite their long layoff, the Phils were hoping to get off to a fast start, and they looked to the man who was on fire early in the season.
Here's Chase Utley with a man aboard at first, and the Rays will overshift against Utley.
And he bunts toward third with the shift on, but drops it foul. Not a bad idea.
It was ironic that he tried to bunt the first pitch, and luckily it went foul, and he worked the count, and he got a good pitch to hit, and he didn't miss it.
2-2 pitch. There's a drive. Deep to right field, going back Zobrist at the warning track, at the wall.
2-run home run, Chase Utley here in the top of the first. And the Phillies strike first in St. Pete with a 2-0 lead. 3 batters into the ballgame.
Home run in the first inning did silence the cowbells. You always want to try to score early, especially on the road.
You can't get off to much better a start in the World Series.
That was a fastball I wanted to throw away, and it ended up being low and in, and that's the pitch that he likes. Just made that mistake. Made that one mistake that really cost us.
To get an early lead, especially for Cole Hamels, you can't ask for something better.
The NLCS MVP was 3-0 in the postseason with a 1.23 ERA, and he sure appreciated the runs.
The moment that I was able to go out there with having a 2-0 lead made things easier for me.
And a strikeout for Hamels, his first.
Hamels to the plate, and a little bouncer hits off to the second. In the field it up, backhands the second one. Rollins over to first. A double play.
He's pitched game 1 in every series, and it's come up very big for us. Cole's been the tone setter for us.
Cole Hamels is doing it again.
When the Phils sought to add to their lead in the second, the Rays' defense promptly shut the door.
The bases are loaded with 1 out for Jimmy Rollins.
Popped up, not very deep.
BJ!
Upton has a gun. Victorino's going to try and score. The throw to the plate. He is out at home! You do not run on BJ Upton. That's the first commandment.
Don't test the cannon, boys! Don't test it!
BJ's arm had prevented a run. Now could his back create one? With the bases loaded and 1 out in the third.
Upton hit into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. And Hamels would love another one here.
I was able to keep him off balance on his first at-bat, so I was going to try to do that again on that second one. And Feliz made a phenomenal play.
Swinging a ground ball. Feliz has got it. Fires to Utley. There's one. Relay to first. In time, a double play. No!
Turning that double play, getting out of the inning without a run. That was kind of the difference maker in the game.
Huge 5-4-3 double play for the Phillies to get out of trouble here in the third.
An RBI ground out by Carlos Ruiz in the fourth gave Hamels still another run to work with.
Victorino scores, and the Phillies now have a 3-0 lead here in the fourth inning.
But the Phils could never muster the hit that would put the Rays away for good.
And the Phillies are turned away again and have left 11 in the ball game tonight.
And I thought we should have scored at least 5-6 runs.
They are 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position.
But anytime Cole pitches, I feel like we're going to win.
And for good reason. But the Rays began to claw back. And it began with the face of the franchise, Carl Crawford.
ripped to deep right field. And deep, Worth back at the track, to the wall, gone! And the Rays are on the board. It's 3-1.
Swung on a fly ball, headed toward the gap. Gonna go all the way to the wall. Bartlett will score. Hockey into second. He'll stop there, and that makes it a 3-2 ball game.
The Rays had swung the momentum to their side, but the man they call Hollywood stuck to his award-winning script.
When he does get bothered, that's when he's his best. That's when his fastball gets better. That's when his changeup gets better.
Swing and a miss on a changeup. He struck him out.
He looks as if he's got 15 years in the big leagues. He's poised, he's calm, he's cool.
There goes Pena. They got it picked off to throw to Howard. He throws to second, and he got it. Curveball hit back to Hamels. Nice pickup. And then he underhands to first to end the inning, and that's all for the Rays. It's been 7 strong from Cole Hamels.
And now began the bridge to Lidge as Ryan Madson came on to pitch the 8th.
I was a little worried about what's going on, but, getting in there, getting my feet wet, and, they were being aggressive, and you got to play off their aggression.
Upton swings and misses. He struck it out. Another changeup.
And Ryan Madson does the job again in the 8th inning. A 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th.
Which left it up to the man who'd been perfect all season.
0-2 pitch. Slider. Swung on. Yes. Strike 3.
Back-to-back strikeouts by the dominating Brad Lidge.
The Phils were just 1 out away from winning their all-important first game on the road. Their 8th postseason win in 10 tries.
Lidge with a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And the Phillies have game 1, 3-2.
Let's get her, baby! Coming to a game like this, obviously the emotions are running high. It's intense. A lot of adrenaline flowing. Scoring 2 runs early, I think, gave us a real good edge. Cole Hamels was able to be the Cole Hamels that he's been this whole postseason. You come into the big stage like this, you want to put all your heart and soul out there, and that's what we did today. That's what this club has been about this whole season.
Although they had lost the opener, the Rays remained calm, and their Game 2 starter was certain they would rise to the occasion.
We're 0-1 right now. Last night was a tough loss, but we got to move on. I'm going to try to do my best tonight to get the win and tie it up and kind of do what we did in the ALCS. We got a World Series Game 2. Here we go.
And with the game on the line, Tampa felt confident behind Shields.
Big game James, and he is a big game pitcher with a very good changeup, and he moves his fastball in and out.
All things factored in, make him the type of guy that you want in your foxhole, and he's done it for us all year long.
The Phillies are gone. 1-2-3 in the first inning against Shields.
The Rays were loose and looked to get a leg up on the Phils.
Hey!
On the mound for Philadelphia was their powerful right-hander, Brett Myers.
Now the Rays are coming up against Myers.
Iwamura patiently worked the walk.
It starts with a walk.
And Upton moved him along.
Oh, snap. Here's a line drive base hit into right. Iwamura will go to third as Worth kicks it in right. Throw into second. Not in time.
Rays trying to jump on the Phillies quickly.
Up came Carlos Pena, who had delivered big hits for the Rays all year.
Carlos Pena!
That'll get a run home.
1-0 Rays and a ground out by Pena.
Next, Longoria with some deja vu as he followed with another productive out.
Evan Longoria!
That'll get another run home. 2-0
Tampa Bay had struck first, and Upton kept the pressure on in the second. after the relentless Rays had the bases loaded with 2 out.
Shake them dice and roll them. Yeah!
Into right field for a base hit. Navarro scores. Baldelli coming home. Throw to the plate. He is out home.
Still, the Rays had given big game James a 3-run advantage.
When my guy scored 2 runs in the first inning and gave me a 3-0 lead in the second, that was huge for me.
That changeup's a doozy.
Shields would pitch into the 6th inning and hold the Phillies scoreless.
Right there, buddy. Right there. We're going to win a game for you.
But he needed a little help from Dan Wheeler with 2 out and runners on 1st and 3rd.
Phil's trying to get on the board here in the 6th. Have had many opportunities, but failed with runners in scoring position.
Here's a 1-1. Reaching for it. Longoria goes the short route, and the inning is over.
The bullpen was huge that game. I mean, Wheeler coming in and getting that ground ball for the 3rd out kind of gave us that momentum breaker for the last 3 innings.
Hey!
The Phillies were simply not coming through in the clutch.
We talked about from the beginning that this kind of game is what it's about. You got to come up with the big hit, or you got to execute.
They were getting runners on base and into scoring position, but they couldn't bring them home. And in the 7th, they faced David Price, the Rays' not-so-secret weapon.
Now the 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 on. Strike 3 called. Got him on a slider and a nasty one at that.
It's tough to hit. Speaking from a hitter. 91-mile-an-hour sliders.
I wouldn't want to make a living doing it.
No.
With 2 out in the 8th, the Phillies sent Eric Bruntlett to the plate, looking to light a spark against Price. They got much more than that.
Here's the pitch. Bruntlett swings and drives it high and deep left field. It is gone! Eric Bruntlett breaks up the shutout bid with a pinch hit home run.
Yeah, you go back to thinking as a kid and kind of the thoughts that you had, the dreams that you had about playing the World Series and hitting home run, and then to actually do it is very surreal.
Still down 4-1 in the 9th, the Phils made it clear they would not go quietly, as Carlos Ruiz, a .219 hitter during the regular season, appeared to be finding his postseason stroke.
And here come the Phillies again.
Up came Worth, with a chance to get the Phillies off the RBI schneid with runners in scoring position.
Come on. Coming around 3rd, Ruiz, he will score easily, and now it is 4-2.
The Phils had put a chink in David's armor, and they now had the tying run at the plate in the person of Utley, but Price would recover.
Utley strikes out.
A classic confrontation was all that remained.
The electric stuff of David Price against Ryan Howard, who led the big leagues in home runs and RBIs during the regular season.
Power arm, power bat, lefty, lefty.
To the right side, Iwamura. Rays take game 2.
And the Rays have evened up the series at a game apiece.
Price came in and did a great job. I mean, for being as young as he is and that big of a stage, he did a tremendous job.
We play a lot of close games. Our pitching staff keeps us in, virtually every game we play, and I think it was, a typical Rays game.
Tampa had won a game they had to have. But the Phils had gained home field advantage and were now off to the bank.
Playing in front of our home crowd and in our stadium is definitely going to be very exciting, and I think the energy is going to be electric, and I look forward to getting home very much.
The World Series returns to Philadelphia. The Phillies hosting a World Series game for the first time since 1993.
I couldn't wait to get back to Philly. The fans have been outstanding the entire playoffs, and I knew that with this World Series, they weren't going to miss it. They were going to come out, they were going to be hardcore.
Right now, the rain continues to fall.
This is October weather right here.
The tarp is down, and we will be in a delay for the start of this one.
The last World Series game in Philly was in 1993. Waiting another 91 minutes was not a problem.
These fans are going to stay here. This is the World Series. They've waited 15 years for the World Series. If we start this game at 4 in the morning, they'll be here. Tarp is up. Rain has stopped. We are ready for baseball.
After the long delay, these fans are ready. The fanatic is ready.
Jamie Moyer, the hometown kid, will be the man on the mound.
Moyer grew up idolizing Steve Carlton, so it was only fitting that Lefty would throw out the first pitch.
There's a special feeling that goes with that, especially with Steve being my idol as a kid.
Jamie Moyer will make his first ever World Series start, and tonight he becomes the second oldest man ever to start a World Series game.
Let's go, baby! Let's go! Let's go! From the intros, it was just a great feeling because you can feel the electricity in the crowd just go through you.
Moyer into the windup in his first pitch with the flashbulbs popping. It's a strike over the outside corner.
The time was 10:06, the latest start in series history. Close to bedtime for some 45-year-olds. But Moyer would own the night.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. A scoreless top of the first for Jamie Moyer.
In the bottom of the first, Jimmy Rollins looked to shake out of his 0 for 10 series funk and ignite the Phils.
Every fire needs a spark, and when you're the leadoff hitter, you're the first person to try to light that match.
Rollins snatches it up the middle of base hit, right into center field, and Rollins has broken his World Series opener and gets this crowd going early.
When I get on, things happen. I can steal a base. Pitchers seem to make a lot of mistakes because now his game plan is a little different.
Matt Garza did indeed appear distracted by J-Roll and struggled with his control.
Garza does not look comfortable at all.
No. That one in the dirt, skips from Navarro. Both runners move up and 2 men in scoring position.
But up to now, that wasn't necessarily a good thing for the Phillies.
And we have an early opportunity for the Phils to turn the tide in the most talked about stat, batting with runners in scoring position.
One for, 28, I believe?
Yep.
We were just over anxious and just trying to do too much too fast instead of slowing the game down and making sure you make some contact to get a run in.
Ugly swing, ground ball to the right side.
That'll get a run.
And that's going to move everybody up. Pena, the first baseman, picks it up, runs it to the bag for the out. Rollins is in to score.
Now, they went 42-15 this season. When he did score a run, he really drives them.
You know, Jimmy's a guy that all along, you know, one has been known as our team leader. Two has been when he goes, we go.
Still, there was a runner just waiting to be driven in, with the mighty Howard now at the plate.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
More trouble for Ryan Howard as he goes down swinging.
5th time in 10 at-bats that Howard has struck out in this series.
The Phillies appeared to be pressing, and when Burrow flied out, another run was left on base.
Burrow out on one pitch, and the Phillies, now the streak is 1 for 31 with runners in scoring position.
Another missed opportunity was countered by a leadoff double by Carl Crawford, who then stole third, one base at a time. The next one was home.
Sending one in the air towards right center, should be deep enough. Crawford tags, heads home, and a sac fly from Gabe Gross has tied this game at 1.
And again, the Rays strike with a small ball.
When you get to this time of year, you like to be able to play small ball and get some runs in, but it's also nice that one swing in the back, we can change the ball game.
That honor would go to a red-hot Ruiz, for Chooch was in the midst of a glorious postseason renaissance.
Carlos Ruiz had 2 walks and 2 doubles in Game 2.
Carlos's swing started getting a little quicker. His balance at the plate was better, and he started getting some hits for us.
Swing and a drive. Hit deep. Left field. Crawford back. Out of room. It is gone. Alito! Home run, Carlos Ruiz.
That's one more, baby.
He has put the Phillies back in front here in the bottom of the second. The Phils lead it 2-1.
I hit it very good, and that was a great moment for me.
So too was Jamie looking for a bit of redemption on the mound.
Moyer trying to erase an 0-2 start to this postseason. He's given up 8 runs on 10 hits in 5 1/3.
People are getting a little down on Jamie because he didn't pitch very well in the first 2 playoff series, and I think getting to the World Series probably means more to Jamie Moyer than anybody will ever know.
22 years, dog. This is his first World Series.
And Jamie was rising to the occasion, using 22 years of guile and pinpoint control to hold the Rays at bay.
If he keeps getting those pitches on either side of the plate, it's going to be a successful night for Jamie Moyer.
The Rays have an awesome lineup, but he was able to make them chase some pitches.
And he gets Iwamura for his 4th strikeout of the night.
For me, it's about balance, and it's about, trying to keep a team off balance.
With a 2-1 lead, Moyer managed to still keep the dangerous 3-4 tandem of Pena and Longoria hitless, but just barely.
Longoria with a high fly ball, a towering drive. Deep left field. This one carries, but it's going to be caught right there on the warning track by Pat Burrell.
But the Phillies had the most potent 3-4 duo in the majors in 2008. And in the 6th, they showed it.
I was leading off the inning. I got into a 2-1 count, and Garza threw a fastball in down a little bit, and I was able to get the barrel of the bat to it.
Swing and a long drive. Watch this, baby. Way out of here. Tremendous home run. Chase Utley.
Next up, Howard, who hit 48 home runs during the regular season, but not one in the postseason. With Ryan, however, all it takes is one swing.
Get into the playoffs, and I knew that teams were going to pitch me tough and not give me a whole lot to hit.
Swing is in it. You see it?
We have not seen good swings at all from Ryan Howard.
The thing that I've noticed watching Ryan is when he's struggling, right around the corner is going to be a hot streak.
Give it to him.
Swing a long drive. This ball is out of here. Ryan Howard has gone back-to-back with Chase Utley, and the Phillies now lead it 4-1.
Ryan was back in his September swing.
Just got to get that back, get that consistency back. That's what you need right there. You're going to go. Game 3, just pulled it together and got my rhythm back.
With just the 14th back-to-back home runs in series history, the Phils appeared in command.
Jamie Moyer goes back to work in the 7th inning for the Phillies.
Phillies on top 4-1. Kyle Crawford leads it off for the Rays.
But the Rays battled back once again using small ball, helped this time by a most questionable call.
And Crawford tries to bunt his way on. Good bunt.
Get him, Moyer. Push. Flip.
Moyer flips. Safe. And a good start to the 7th inning for Tampa Bay.
Good try, baby. Good boy.
You have that?
No, I mean, off the bat, it was tough.
A bang play at first that goes the Rays' way. Moyer did everything that he could with a glove flip to first.
And he's out. Glove hand flip to Howard with his bare hand. He's out by a lot.
The Rays would not get another hit all inning, but still managed to score 2 runs, cutting the Phillies' lead to 1.
So the Rays take advantage of a break, too, because think about this. These 2 runs might not be on the board were it not for the missed call at first base.
In the 8th, B.J. Upton staged a one-man show, with the Phillies bullpen now in the game.
Chopper. Rollins will be tested. Tough play. Did not get him, and it's a base hit for B.J. Upton. And the potential tying run is on here.
How you like your shoes? They're light.
Light enough to carry the fleet feet of Upton.
There goes Upton, the pitch taken for a ball, and not even a throw made by Carlos Ruiz.
And they have the tying run down there.
A guy like BJ, he's being more aggressive than anyone on the field, and it's kind of the example he set. He's really a spark plug.
Upton leads at 2nd. He breaks for 3rd. The pitch in the dirt, a ball. Throw to 3rd, and the dirt gets away. Upton's going to turn to 3rd. He's going to come in and score, and we're tied at 4.
B.J. Upton has created a run out of almost nothing at all.
And so Game 3 moved into the bottom of the 9th, still tied. Now, it was time for the Phillies to play some base-to-base of their own.
Plucks him, and Bruntlett aboard to start the bottom of the ninth as the winning run is on.
Get to first base, and Shane's up there. He's looking to bunt.
Way inside, knocks Victorino down, goes for second, and the throw goes into center. Bruntlett up and running to third. There's no throw there. Man at third, winning run 90 feet away here in the bottom of the ninth with nobody out.
Oh, my.
Let's go! I can't feel my legs! I'm going to faint.
It's obviously huge to get to third base with nobody out. Makes chance of scoring a run a lot higher.
Now with first and second base open, they'll walk Victorino.
Walk one more guy?
Back-to-back intentional walks to load the bases. And Ruiz will be the man on the spot.
My last at-bat is no question, you know, it's one moment I never forget in my life.
It's 4-4, bottom of the ninth. There's nobody out. The infield is in. The outfield has only 2 players in it.
I go with the 5-man infield, so I'm kind of running through my head different scenarios of things that could happen.
And it's a battle between Grant Balfour and Carlos Ruiz.
Bases loaded with a hard thrower on there. He had 2 strikes. I imagine he was just trying to put the ball in play.
And everybody's standing, waving their rally towels.
The stage was set for the shortest game-ending hit in World Series history.
Barehanded by Longoria, an underhanded throw, sails over the head of the catcher. And the ball game is over. Bruntlett has scored the winning run.
When I saw him throw it over his head, I was like, yes.
That's game! That's game!
We were just going crazy.
Ruiz mobbed at first base as the Phillies pour out of the dugout.
Chooch found that hole. Didn't go too far, but it ended up working out for us. It's sometimes better to be lucky than good.
You talk about a weird ninth inning. The only time the baseball left the infield was on the throw from Deoner Navarro to second.
The first World Series game in Philly in 15 years had been well worth the wait.
Winning this home game here, take the lead 2-1 going in the 4th game is huge, especially here in front of our crowd in our home park. Be able to take advantage of that energy and come out here and play Phillies baseball and just wear our hearts on our sleeves and play all 9 and hustle as hard as we can like we have all year. Things are looking good for game 4. We got to just keep it rolling.
2 to go, baby. Dude. Get that 2 to go. Right?
Game 4 World Series programs. Scorecard line up.
Jamie Moyer never did get his first World Series win in Game 3. But the next day, his performance was still on everyone's mind.
I told Jamie one time, I'm going to retire at 37. They said, why? You're just getting to the point where you want to be. If at 40 you could pitch, you should still pitch. And I'm like, well, I give you 40. But at 45, no. He knows how to pitch. He's not a thrower, he's a pitcher. And then you see the play he made at first.
Incredible.
What a play by Moyer. Glove hand scoop.
With all due respect, they missed that play. That call, that was a web jam. That's what you play for, you know. You work so hard to be here, man. And when you get here, you really got to get the job done. That's it. I hope this place goes wild tonight, man.
Everyone, it's Game 4 of the 2008 World Series. This crowd clearly tonight is charged up and ready to go. This place is already live.
Despite holding a 2-1 lead in the series, the Phils were not bringing those ducks on the pond home.
The Phillies still not hitting with runners in scoring position. They are just 2 for 33 with runners in scoring position.
We're very capable of putting up a crooked number on you. We will come back on you and we'll fight you till the game's over.
But pitching quite often prevails in these games, for the Rays also had issues with the heart of their order.
Somewhere along the line, either those 3 or 4 hitters of the Tampa Bay Rays have got to get going. 0 for 22 for Carlos Pena and Evan Longoria with 10 strikeouts.
And tonight they'd face Joe Blanton, acquired from Oakland in a mid-season trade. In his 13 regular season and 2 playoff starts, the Phillies had compiled an 11-4 record.
The Phillies hoping for another outstanding pitching performance tonight from Joe Blanton.
Obviously, it's the World Series, so there's a lot of emotions. It's a different stage. I mean, it's different than any other game, I've ever thrown in.
Game 4 just about upon us. This should be one heck of a night.
Blanton was not the most ballyhooed midseason pickup, but here he was pitching in the World Series.
Blanton mows him down.
To get that inning out of the way, you can catch your breath. Okay, we can really settle in now and do something.
The Rays go quietly in the first.
Unlike the Phillies in their half, with Andy Sonnenstein on the mound. And for the second night in a row, it was Rollins who got things rolling.
And he swings and pulls it past the diving Pena, and it's down the line. Rollins around first on his way to second. He'll be there standing with a leadoff double.
A one-out walk to Utley brought Howard to the plate, looking to maintain his Game 3 stroke. Instead, still another controversial call.
Tapper back to the hill, and now to run down, it's Rollins. Sonnenstein right at him, and now Longoria with a sweep. No, didn't get him. He didn't get him, and the bases are going to be loaded.
He didn't get the call. He did get him.
Third base umpire Tim Welke said he did not apply the tag, and the bases are loaded with one man out for the Phillies.
Honestly, I don't know why the pitcher tried to come get me. You got Ryan Howard at the plate, ball hit right back to you, one hopper, you turn, throw the ball to second, throw it to first. Ryan's not even close.
Ryan Howard was barely out of the box. You've got a double play and you're out of the inning.
When it came off the bat, I just wanted to get his attention and maybe make him hesitate and throw it to second, and then maybe Ryan stay for first and we got another chance with Pat.
The bases are loaded with one out, and Pat Burrell batting.
Check swing, low and away, ball 4. He walked him. Rollins is home and the Phillies lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the first.
The bases were still loaded with just one out, but once again, the Phillies failed to pounce.
The Rays escape a first-inning potential disaster.
It appeared that the same scenario would play out in the third. With runners on first and third and nobody out, 2 outs later, they were still there. The Phils needed someone to come up big.
They asked for a hit from Pedro Feliz and to do something that Charlie Manuel's club has struggled to do. Line drive, base hit. Feliz breaks through, and it's 2-0 Philadelphia.
That was very important. That got us going. I mean, we just got guys on base and got 2 outs without getting the guy in, and he came up with the clutch hit to get us going.
Pedro had delivered, but 1 inning later, the Rays would defiantly counter with the long ball.
Here is Carl Crawford, 2 out, nobody on. Tampa Bay Rays need a lift.
Swinging a high drive towards right, and this one is gone. A home run for Carl Crawford. The Rays are on the board. They trail 2-1.
I thought I threw a great pitch. Just one of the cases where you don't make a mistake and you tip the hat to the hitter.
Crawford shocks the big crowd here, and the Rays have cut that lead in half.
On to the fourth, and the Phillies once again put 2 men on base. And once again, Howard had the chance to flex his home run muscle.
Ryan Howard at the plate, big hulking left-handed slugger.
If you're going to win the World Series, your best players have to be your best players. Your best players have to carry it. Ryan Howard has to get those big hits.
Phillies lead, but they haven't had a big hit tonight.
As a team, we had kind of been scuffling a little bit, trying to get runners in scoring position. So I wanted to sit back and see the ball as long as I could.
One swing of the bat, they can be way ahead.
Off to the air, the deep left field, out of here. 3-run home run, Ryan Howard. And the Phillies have taken a 5-1 lead.
When a guy like Ryan gets hot, he does damage. He will carry you. He puts runs on the board.
They've let the big fella get hot. And we know when he gets hot, he can stay hot for a while.
It appeared that Howard had found his home run swing, and it couldn't have come at a better time for the Phillies.
Ryan Howard with his second home run in as many nights, and this one was a backbreaker.
It was a big hit for us, gave us 3 runs, and it's nice to see the big man when he gets hot.
That baby, way to go.
That baby, big boy.
That was the lock-in point for me right there, to where now I'm starting to feel a little bit better and just try and take the momentum and keep going from there.
Unbelievable.
You expect the Major League home run leader to go deep in a World Series game. Not so a man who's never had a big league blast.
Last time I hit was high school, so one part of me is saying just go out and try to make contact and put together somewhat of a decent at-bat.
Jackson into his windup, the right-hander delivers. That ball is right. Goodbye. Home run for Joe Blanton.
Can you believe it?
I was just going to swing hard and close my eyes in case I made contact, and I was lucky enough to make contact on one.
That is the first home run hit by a pitcher in a World Series game in 34 years.
I don't even know if he knew what to do as far as when he hit it, but good job, Joe. You did it, man.
First career home run, and it comes in the World Series.
They're waiting for you. They're waiting for you.
Joe the pitcher had become Joe the slugger, but he nicely transitioned back to what he does best.
Fastball got him looking. That was painted.
Having that 4-run lead really allows you to attack the zone, go at the hitters, and be aggressive.
Hi, JV, come on. Johnson, hurry, come on.
Got him. He struck him out.
Joe Blanton brought electric stuff to the park.
Blanton threw 6 solid innings as the midseason pickup continued to pay huge dividends.
There was quite an uproar in August. The Phillies did not do enough to get themselves to the finish line by adding Joe Blanton. They should have done more. Well, we looked up in October, and he was the last guy standing.
What a performance by Joe Blanton tonight. Outstanding.
It was a great feeling to be able to get in front of the home crowd and have a good game and really feel the love from the city.
Glenn gets a standing ovation from the Phillies fans.
Blanton's night was done, but the Phillies' offense was not, as they sent the Rays a powerful message.
When you're playing at home and you have a chance to knock a team out, that's what you want to do. It kind of just drives home the fact that we're the better team.
There's a shot deep into left center field. It's a home run.
A 2-run homer from Jason Worth, the 3rd Phillies home run of the ballgame.
And to cap it off, Howard showed that he was indeed back.
Swinging a high drive. Deep right center. Forget about this one. It is gone.
Ryan took over, and he ended up hitting a couple home runs and having a big night.
Howard's 2nd home run of the night, his 3rd home run the last 2 nights, and the Phillies have turned it into a lapper.
Everybody's, I guess, waited throughout the playoffs for one of those games. To come out with a 10-run explosion in that game definitely shows what kind of offense we have.
The Phillies break out the bats tonight.
The Phillies, for the most part, this year were a team that relied on the home run to win, and that was the one game in the World Series where that really showed through.
Well, this is how the Phillies did it all summer.
A National League best 214 times to be exact. And the Phillies' latest power surge gave J.C. Romero a lead he would not relinquish.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. The Phillies blister the Rays in a 10-2 final here in Game 4.
Being up 3-1 in the World Series and being one game away from a World Championship, the emotions are pretty high.
The Phillies are one win away from a World Championship.
We still have work to do. We still have a job to get done. At the end, hopefully the emotions will come out and we'll be able to celebrate.
That's what we play for, video. One more, baby.
From Citizens Bank Park tonight, the Philadelphia Phillies take on the Tampa Bay Rays in Game 5 of the 2008 World Series. Tonight, the Phillies stand on the doorstep of history with a 3-1 series lead over the Tampa Bay Rays and just one win away from their 2nd ever World Series title.
Let's say we feel very comfortable with the position we're in right now. We know we got a tough game ahead of us. We also know that Cole Hamels is up for a challenge.
Cole Hamels going to the mound tonight, you'd have to say that the odds are that tonight will be the night.
Right now, Cole Hamels is the greatest pitcher who ever lived. Has not allowed more than 2 runs in any start this postseason.
There's no other guy we would rather have on the mound than Cole Hamels today and a chance to win the World Series.
The Phils could sense a Hollywood ending to the series, if only the rain would hold off as long as promised.
Weather forecasting is a funny thing. It's forecasting. It's not an exact science, so the best they can do is tell you what their best guess is.
Your forecast for 8 o'clock tonight, 47 degrees, a small chance of showers. Well, 30% chance of precipitation this evening, so keep an eye on that.
We started and we knew we were going to have a decent amount of playable weather.
Rain in the air as we get this one going, but it looks like it will certainly begin on time.
And the hope was that, the heavier stuff was going to come in later.
The game was on, and in the bottom of the first, the Phillies tried to send Casimir to his own shower with a patient approach.
Hold the ball off the inside again. The bases are loaded, and here is Shane Victorino.
To be able to settle in, I guess, in the box, knowing that Casimir was having trouble throwing strikes.
Low for another ball, 2-0. He can't find the plate.
You say to yourself, find a way to try to zone in on one pitch.
Line down the left field line. This one is going to be in for a base hit. One run is home. Up around third. He is going to score a 2-run single for Shane Victorino. And the Phillies draw first blood tonight. Let's go. Let's go.
To get those 2 runs right off the bat in the first was definitely big and put us in the right direction.
Hamels could now become the first pitcher ever to go 5-0 in a single postseason.
This is the moment for guys like that. This is the time when guys like that step up and have big games, and he knew it.
Cole Hamels is proving that he is unfazed by the stage, by the situation.
He's tremendous. He was a big game guy when they really needed a big game guy.
But as Cole maintained what was now a 2-1 lead, the wind and rain turned the beauty of baseball at its best into a sloppy mess.
Weather has certainly taken the routine part of the game out of the game.
We knew that once we got past around 10:30 or so, that we could either be in a good situation at that point in time, or there was a chance that it may pick up. And unfortunately, it picked up more than I think everybody expected it to.
The field was starting to puddle. The lights are starting to reflect off the water on the field.
It can't get much worse than this, no, and have them continue to play baseball. No. It is an official game, however.
But the actual fate of the game was still uncertain, as Hamels looked to end the 6th with Upton at the plate.
Upton hit a ball at Jimmy Rollins that Jimmy's going to catch 99, maybe 100% of the time on a good playing condition field.
Couldn't imagine any shortstop able to make that stop, turn, and throw under these conditions.
This is a spot where we might anticipate B.J. Upton to think about stealing a base, but that infield is very sloppy right now.
Cole kept his eye on Upton, but it seemed unlikely that B.J. would take off in this slippery mud.
The field was actually muddy and wet, and he stole second base, and he stole it pretty easy.
There he goes, got a great jump, and the throw by Ruiz too late.
That brought the struggling Pena to the plate, and in the driving rain, he came up big.
Cole made a pretty good pitch on the outside corner, but Pena did some good hitting.
Line drives a base hit into left. Here comes Upton to the plate. Throw home by Burrell. This game is tied.
And once that was over, like that was the end of the top of the 6th, they stopped the game and they suspended it.
Tonight's game has been suspended. It will be resumed when I believe that weather conditions are appropriate.
Once they stopped it, they had no choice. They had to stop playing. And then everybody sat for 46 hours.
Should they have played? Should they have stopped? Should they have waited until Tampa caught up to the Phillies before they stopped? What about this suspension?
The suspension would keep Hamels from returning to the mound. And with the game now tied, the Rays had new hope.
I think the guys are excited. The fact that we're still here and we still have a chance to win this World Series. And I think the longer it goes on, the more we believe that maybe we're destined to do this.
I wouldn't trade positions. If they're destined, we're going to definitely try to fight through destiny.
Almost 2 days later, the first suspended game in World Series history would resume, with the home team slated to lead off.
Everything's where you want it to be. We're in the driver's seat, being up 3-1. We still got to finish this game off, and we want to get it done tonight.
We're about to jump right into the bottom of the 6th inning with a pitcher about to lead it off. Cole Hamels is out of the game, so the Phillies will need a pinch hitter.
And out of the Phillies dugout comes the left-handed batting, Jeff Jenkins.
It's funny, we always say, baseball's a marathon, not a sprint. Well, it became a sprint.
Swing and a drive. Noel hit right center field, and it is off the base of the wall as the Phils get the lead runner in scoring position, and a fist pump and hands clapping from Jenkins.
Both teams knew going into that game that it was going to be a sprint.
Sacrifice bunt by Jimmy Rollins. Well, the first is in time, and over to third base goes Jenkins.
There's no time to sit around. You got to try and jump on it as quick as possible.
Worth a shallow fly ball. Iwamura can't make the play, and the Phillies take the lead.
That was huge. It was huge for us to come through in that situation and get that run home.
Still, the Rays tied it on a Rocco Baldelli homer in the 7th and threatened to take the lead with Iwamura at the plate. But Utley would have none of it.
We knew that with Iwamura hitting, it's always going to be a tough out.
Swing a ground ball back up toward the middle. Utley has it.
When I saw Chase ranging back up the middle to get the ball, I knew that it was going to be a tight play to try to get him at first base. And it was heads up on his part to make that fake throw.
Now it's going to come home. Bartlett's going to try to score.
Ball looked like it hopped right up to our catcher, Ruiz, and he was able to put the tag on the runner.
Out is the call to end the inning.
We'll be talking about that forever, I think. I mean, historically, that was an amazing, amazing baseball play.
From a standpoint of momentum and everything, that definitely was a huge play.
In the bottom of the 7th, Rollins tried to light a fire in Burrow.
You know what? What's the type of swag that's what's missing. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who you are. I want to see 5 show up.
This one hit into center. Upton will watch it go off the wall. And Burrow will dig into second with a leadoff double.
He came with a big hit, big moment, and of course then we moved the runner over to third.
One out runner at third. Pedro Feliz coming up.
He is a veteran guy. He's been around. He's been through it and doesn't waver very much under the pressure.
And a ground ball up the middle, base hit. Pedro Feliz delivers. 4-3 Philadelphia.
4-3 Phillies, 9th inning. Everybody standing, waving their rally towels.
The Phils were on the cusp of winning their first World Series in 28 years. All they asked was for Lidge to be perfect just one more time.
And the Phillies are 1 out away from winning the World Series, but the possible tying run is at second with 2 down.
I remember hearing a little bit the crowd. Most of the time you blocked that out, but that was a pretty special moment, and it was pretty loud. Just tried to let it all in, absorb the energy, the electricity.
He hits a slider, a slow bouncer up the first base side. It is foul.
Brad's been perfect all year long, and he showed once again why he is perfect. He throws a devastating slider.
Strike 2.
When he got him down to 2 strikes, that's when reality kind of set in. It's like, we're 1 strike away.
1 strike away.
1 strike away from the greatest joy in baseball.
I'm thinking to myself, just throw the best slider you've got.
And Lidge stretches. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out.
It was pure joy.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
I sprinted as fast as I could. I don't even know if I ran that fast all year. When they went down to their knees, I told myself I'm taking them both out.
In 2008, championship baseball returned to the city of brotherly love. players and fans alike basked in the glory of this fantastic achievement.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Winning, especially in baseball, just shows the type of team that you have. There's no I in baseball.
And that sure tastes good.
It's a team effort, and that's why I love winning so much in baseball, because it shows everyone coming together for one common goal, and that's to win.
Well, I'm sure glad we found you. What? I'm sure glad we found you. I am too. Man. Great job, man. Great job. Is that the mound? Yeah. That's the rubber. That's the rubber. That was a great move. That is... wow. Congratulations on that. That's a crafty veteran move right there. Congratulations to you.
Oh, you too. You too.
Couldn't have done it without you, buddy.
Couldn't have done it without you, man.
Campeones, número uno.
Somebody was asking, is he going to give me the ball if we're lucky enough to have a strikeout in the last pitch of the World Series? And that's the one. I said he could keep it, and he said he'd give it to me. And I think that we both just kind of thought it's best to give it to Charlie. Carlos and I were fighting over this thing, and it's got to go to you, buddy.
Right, okay. Like that. Huh? Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. It's celebration time right now.
This is what the city will always remember. Will remember us, and they'll always remember these players that have come through the hard times, and finally brought something to them.
Winners in this town are showered with love and are never forgotten. The 1980 championship parade was one of the most joyous events in Philadelphia sports history. The 2008 version was destined to surpass it.
Ready to get the party started.
It was time to celebrate, and it was time to give thanks.
Thank you, Ryan Howard, for every mighty twig.
This is craziness. Are we getting this guy in the tree? Oh, my goodness. Pandemonium.
Seeing this right now, it's pretty special right here. They're showing us the support. All we can say is thank you.
Thank you, Cole Hamels, for your filthy changeup.
Thank you, Jamie Moyer, for being 45 and pitching like you're 25.
This has been a clinic so far by Moyer.
I'm a Ruiz fan.
Thank you, Carlos Ruiz, for being a rock behind the plate.
And did he hold on? He did.
Thank you, Phillies.
Here's Broad Street. Here we go.
Thank you, Jason Worth, for that breakout season.
2 million people. It really is.
Thank you, Chase Utley, for playing the right way.
He said, boys, hop on my back. I'm going to take you to the promised land.
Thank you, Jimmy Rollins, for that MVP smile. Thanks, Pat Burrell, for keeping it intense with Philly. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane Victorino, for your Hawaiian hustle.
Thank you, Brad Lidge, for closing with perfection.
Thank you, Charlie Manuel, for leading the way. Thank you, Phillies.
Thank you, Phillies.
Thank you, Phillies.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Phillies, for making us all champions.
You know, Ryan, they didn't ask you and I to get in this.
Show didn't.
But I think we need to show them the world premiere of the remix.
Okay.
Of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
That's right. That's what's up.
That's what's up.
I'm in it. I'm in it. MVP style.
Let me get the headset.
Oh, you get loose.
We're gonna take it to a different level. Yeah.
Nah. We're not gonna roll with it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Remix. Take me. Take me. Check it out. Take me out to the ball game. Biggie ball game. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Crowd. Take me out to the crowd. Hey! Buy me peanuts and them Cracker Jacks. Yes. Give it to me. Buy me peanuts and them Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever come back. I'm gonna go back again. I said it. I don't care if I ever come back.
Why is that? Because our team gonna win.
What? Yeah. The remix.
The remix.
That's it. That's all you need. We're not even gonna finish that.
It's a wrap. It's over.
A wrap.
It's over.
Cracker Jack. I can't work like this.